What happens when one of country music's biggest stars goes on what should have been a routine morning show appearance and instead finds himself in the middle of one of the most intense television moments of the year? Tim McGraw walked onto the set of The View that morning, expecting to talk about his new album and upcoming tour. But what happened was a verbal showdown that ended with security escorting one of Nashville's most respected voices right off the stage. The morning began like any other at the New York studio. The familiar theme music played, the audience applauded, and the hosts took their positions at the table. Joy Behar, known for her sharp wit and unfiltered opinions, sat with her coffee ready, prepared for another day of spirited conversation. The producers had scheduled what they thought would be a smooth interview with Tim McGraw, the country music legend with over 75 million records sold worldwide. Tim entered wearing his signature cowboy hat, a crisp shirt, and his easy smile, waving to the audience before settling into the guest chair with the calm confidence of a man who had done countless interviews. The other hosts, Whoopi Goldberg, Sarah and Alyssa Farrah Griffin, and Sunny Hostin, exchanged pleasantries with him. Whoopi, moderating the segment, began with the usual questions about his projects, family life with Faith Hill, and thoughts on country music today. Tim answered with ease, sharing stories from life on the road and the inspiration behind his latest songs. The audience laughed and applauded at the right moments. For the first 10 minutes, everything went according to plan. Tim spoke about tour dates, collaborations, and funny stories about his teenage daughters, teasing him about his music choices. The mood was light and friendly, just like a typical morning TV interview. Then Joy Behar shifted the conversation. "Tim, I have to ask about something on my mind," she said, leaning forward. "You've been quiet about political issues lately, unlike some of your peers in country music. Don't you think artists have a responsibility to speak up?" Tim's smile flickered slightly, but he stayed composed. "Joy, I believe music should bring people together, not divide them. I try to focus on what unites us rather than separates us." Joy's eyebrows lifted, her tone sharper. "That's nice, Tim, but isn't that avoiding taking a stand on important issues? Your fans look up to you. By staying silent on voting rights, climate change, social justice, aren't you letting them down?" The hosts exchanged glances. Tim shifted, his jaw tightening. "I don't think avoiding political debates means I'm letting anyone down. I believe in treating people with respect, regardless of their beliefs. My job is to make music that touches hearts, not to tell people how to vote." Joy pressed further, voice more pointed. "But Tim, that's the problem. Many people sit on the sidelines while democracy is under attack. You have influence, and you choose neutrality when it's no longer an option." The audience murmured, sensing tension. Tim, usually composed, began showing frustration. "Joy, I respectfully disagree. My job isn't to be a political pundit. I bring joy through music, support charities, and try to be a positive role model, but that doesn't mean picking a side in every fight." Joy's response was sharp. "A role model? How can you call yourself that while teaching fans it's okay to ignore injustice? That sounds like moral cowardice." Her words cut through the studio. "People like me face the hard conversations you're too comfortable avoiding. Singing about American values while refusing to stand up for them? Hypocrisy." Tim stood abruptly, towering over the table. "Hypocrisy, Joy? You preach tolerance, yet attack anyone who disagrees. You claim unity while driving people apart." Joy rose, voice matching his intensity. "Tim, I'm trying to wake people up. Democracy is at risk. Rights are being stripped, and people with platforms like yours look away for comfort." Tim's voice boomed. "You think this is about money? I've donated millions, supported education, veterans, and families in need, yet you question me for not tweeting politics daily or endorsing candidates." Other hosts tried to intervene. "Maybe we should take a step back," Sunny urged. Joy ignored her. "No, some fight for democracy. Some make excuses. Your silence is a choice with consequences." Tim laughed bitterly. "Joy, you don't know my life outside this studio, the talks with my family, the values I teach my kids. Yet you judge me for not performing politics for your entertainment." "This isn't entertainment, Tim," Joy shot back. "People suffer while you sing about trucks and beer." The audience was split, cheering for both sides. Whoopi signaled producers frantically. Tim, flushed and tense, said, "Joy, the real problem is people like you thinking anyone who disagrees is automatically evil or corrupt." "You've forgotten decency." Joy slammed the table. "Not decent? Standing by while vulnerable people suffer? Hiding behind false equivalents. One side is trying to destroy what this country stands for," Tim countered. "The only false equivalence is assuming anyone who disagrees is bad." "You've turned politics into a religion." Sarah Ann tried to interject. "Remember, families are watching." Tim ignored her. "My family faces threats because I won't pick a side. My daughters deal with classmates spreading rumors. So forgive me if I don't want to make it worse." Joy was relentless. "So you let others suffer so yours is safe. That's privilege. Millions rely on people like you to stand up." Tim paced behind his chair. Whoopi's calls for a commercial break went ignored. He was no longer the composed country gentleman who entered 30 minutes earlier. "You call me a coward, Joy? Real courage is building bridges, not picking sides and hating half the country," Joy shot back. "Bridges to fascism? You can't compromise with those destroying democracy. And calling me a bully while you're towering over me is rich," Tim snapped. I stood up. "I'm shouting because you refuse to listen. You want a confession, not a conversation?" Security guards edged closer. The audience was chaotic, some standing, filming, or leaving. Alyssa Farrah Griffin begged for calm. "Tim, Joy, please," Joy interrupted. "No, some fight to save democracy, others make excuses." "No middle ground," Tim whispered, deadly calm. "Your problem, Joy, is confusing loudness with rightness, anger with morality, attacking with making a difference." "You're a bully with a microphone," Joy shot back. "I'm waking people up. If that makes me a bully, so be it." That was the last straw. Tim grabbed Joy's coffee mug, smashed it, and roared, "Enough! I'm done being lectured by someone who claims moral authority." Silence fell for 3 seconds, then erupted. Joy stared in disbelief as other hosts backed away. Security stepped in. "Sir, come with us," the lead guard said, but Tim pointed at Joy. "You want to know what's destroying America? It's people like you, who forget those who disagree are still human. You attack, not reason." Joy, standing, fired back. "Get out. You've shown your true self. Privileged, entitled, unable to take responsibility." Tim laughed bitterly. "Joy, I've tried rational conversation with someone irrational. If that's cowardice, what about ambushing guests and hiding behind victimhood when they fight back?" Security flanked him. Tim straightened his hat, smoothed his shirt, and faced the camera. "This is not productive dialogue. This is toxic theater tearing the country apart. I came to talk about music and was attacked for not being political. That shows everything wrong with public discourse." Joy wouldn't relent. "Don't play the victim. You had a platform and responsibility, and when I held you accountable, you threw a tantrum." Tim turned, voice calm. "The tantrum I see is yours. You tried to bully me, then attacked personally. That's not accountability, that's cruelty." The lead guard stepped forward. "Mr. McGrath, we need to escort you out." Tim nodded, walking toward the exit as Joy fired one last shot. "Walk away, like you do from every hard conversation." Tim paused, hat in hand, breathing deeply, and exited the set, leaving the studio in stunned silence.